Hello, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be starting Sketchbook 13 and bringing you along with me. I'm mostly going to be talking about my sketchbook resolutions in this video, but I will occasionally mention what I'm doing in the first page of my new sketchbook, but it's going to be kind of off again, on again. I recorded this video in my bedroom because my boyfriend was working at his desk and I couldn't really concentrate, so we start out on my bed. That changes fairly quickly as I realize you just can't see anything. Starting off by writing down which sketchbook this is and the date I'm starting it, I used a sticky note as a little stencil to make sure it's tidy on the inside cover. I wanted to start this sketchbook with something casual and fun and not put a lot of pressure on myself to make something really nice, but at the same time I wanted something like one piece on my first page. I like to have just one nice-ish piece. Now, I have a separate list of like art resolutions, which are more broad, but these sketchbook resolutions are very specifically about sketchbooking and this sketchbook. Starting off with draw every time you want to. Now, with my last sketchbook, it took me a very long time to finish, and like I said in my sketchbook tour, I kind of got sick of it. And I think a big part of it is that I would often want to draw in my sketchbook, or I'd want to draw, and then I just wouldn't. I just would, no reason, just would not get up and grab my sketchbook and draw, which sucks and is going to slow down filling up a sketchbook a lot. I'm using a brush pen for the line art because that adds instant interest and line weight. These ones were kindly brought back for me from Japan, although you can absolutely buy them in America. They're not hard to find. The second one is let yourself draw the fun stuff. Now, I also said this in my sketchbook tour, my last sketchbook tour, but I'll often not draw just for fun. Like, I'll have a fun or silly idea and I just won't do it. It doesn't feel like what I should be spending my time on, but that's important, that's worth something, and I want to make sure that I actually do that. The next one is sign and date pages. I think this will help me like move on from a page instead of coming back to it and changing it and adding to it. And I also just really like how it looks when people sign and date their pages. I don't know why, I just think it looks cool, so I want to do it. I was aiming for just vaguely Christmassy, but I couldn't really help myself and I ended up slapping on some Christmas ornaments hanging from the little branch. I just freehanded them with the brush pen, so considering that, I think the star and circle turned out pretty good. I just winged it. More full page spreads. I don't know if I'll be doing that in this sketchbook because it's a Japanese stab bound book, and so it doesn't lay flat enough for that to comfortably work with a single image across both pages. More limited color palette spreads. So I'll see people do a limited color palette spread and I love it. It looks so cool. It makes the sketchbook look so cool, so aesthetic, and it's so, like, I'm not saying this to be mean, but like it's so low effort but such high reward for how good it makes the sketchbook look. And occasionally when I have done it, it's like the whole spread is so cohesive and nice and lovely, and it reduces the amount of thinking you actually have to do while doing sketchbook work to just have like 3 colors to work with. It's great, I love it. Need to do more of it. More OC art. I do not draw my OCs basically ever. I've got one who I draw occasionally, but I really don't draw them very much, and because of that, I'm very bad at drawing them. And because I'm bad at drawing them, I never want to draw them. A little Ouroboros of not drawing my OCs. The next one is experiment with layout. I don't really think about how I'm laying out my sketchbook pages, but when I do, on the occasions that I have done that, I really like it. I love the results. They end up being my favorite sketchbook pages and spreads. And I used to do it a little bit more before I started recording sketchbook tours. I had a couple, I think, I had a couple, and I did some more thought out sketchbook spreads, and they were just really, really nice. It's nice when there are just these couple of relatively easy things you can do to make your sketchbook a more pleasant experience to flip back through, you know? And I don't make a super aesthetic sketchbooks. I do lots of thumbnails and scratchy, scribbly ideas, so I'm not trying to make my entire sketchbook this beautiful aesthetic thing. I mostly work on like finished finished pieces, and then I use my sketchbook to plan those out and think about them. But I do like to occasionally just make fun art in my sketchbook that I wouldn't necessarily put the same amount of time into as I would for a truly finished piece. And for those times, I would like to put in the bare minimum effort to make it a nice sketchbook spread, you know? The next thing is I'd like to finish 3 in 2024. Now I'm starting this just before 2024, but like I said in my last sketchbook tour, 8 months is too long. 8 months is way too long. I just get tired of it. Now, I have a couple of ways I'm going to approach this. One, the things I mentioned earlier, all those things about drawing more and dating the pages and all those things, and full page spreads is another way that I would be filling my sketchbook more quickly, right? So there's those things to actually help me fill the sketchbook more quickly. And then I'm also going to be working in the future, I'm going to try to work in slightly smaller sketchbooks. Now, I don't want to work in like really small sketchbooks. I do like having, I do think towards the end of the sketchbook, when I'm getting to my last couple pages, I start to get anxious, and then I don't want to use it because I'm worried about running out of pages, which is weird. It's this weird, it's like, do I want a big sketchbook where I never run out of pages, but then I get sick of it? Or do I want a small sketchbook where I never get sick of it, but I worry about running out of pages? I don't know. But I do think I need something a little smaller than my last sketchbook. My last sketchbook was pretty decently big. It had quite a few pages in it. So I think I need slightly smaller sketchbooks. I filled in the background with a blue Koh-i-nor Magic pencil. This is a different one. They've got them in 2 sizes, the thinner ones that are more like regular pencil size, and then the really chunky ones. And I just have a couple of random thin ones that I keep in my pencil case. And then to bring the focus back to the birds, because I felt like that was kind of lost once I added the background, I went in around them with a blue highlighter. I'm really trying to loosen up with this and become less awkward recording, but it's awkward when you get started. It's weird to just speak to nothing. And then the last one is carry it with you always. I see this advice everywhere, and I'd like to implement it. Like, I don't leave the house much. I'm gonna be real, I'm kind of a hermit. But when I do, I would like to carry my sketchbook with me. Now, I don't really have a sketchbook bag or anything to put it in to carry it with me, but yeah, that was a big part of my motivation for getting, like, this is the most ridiculous thing, but I didn't have a pencil case for ages, and then I finally got one, and a big part of it was like, I literally cannot do art anywhere except my desk. Like, I can't even go do art at the kitchen table or in bed because I can't carry more than a pencil with me around the house. Like, it's just too inconvenient. So that was a big part of getting that, and so I need to get a sketchbook bag to actually be able to carry my sketchbook around with me. And I'd like to do like more things like plein air and drawing stuff around me and things I see, and obviously I can't do that if I don't bring my sketchbook with me, you know? So yeah, even though I don't leave the house that often, I would like to have my sketchbook with me when I do. Like I said, I have other art resolutions, but I think I'd like to cover those in a separate video. Maybe in the new year, I could do that for art resolutions more generally, but these have just been my sketchbook resolutions. If you have any sketchbook resolutions, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Maybe I'll see a really good idea that I would like to add to my list. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment, you know the drill, and I hope you have an excellent day.